will inaugurate 3-day Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in New Delhi today. Addressing a press briefing on the Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, Home Minister Rajnath Singh outlined the agenda of the conference, which sets out to implement Sendai framework for 2015 for calamities in the Asian region. Now, this is the first major intergovernmental event after the adoption of the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. Also, the minister said that the conference will come out with a Delhi statement aiming at regulating the regional cooperation over disaster risk reduction. 61 countries from Asia and Pacific region with nearly 4,000 delegates, including 1,100 representatives, are expected to participate in the conference.
सेंडई फ्रेमवर्क फॉर डिजास्टर रिस्क रिडक्शन के एडॉप्शन के बाद यह एक पहला मुख्य इंटर गवर्नमेंटल इवेंट है। यह 3 नवंबर से लेकर 5 नवंबर तक चलने वाला है और यह काम एशियन रीजन में इस फ्रेमवर्क के इंप्लीमेंटेशन के लिए एक नया रास्ता निकालेगा। यह कॉन्फ्रेंस सेंडई फ्रेमवर्क के प्रोग्रेस की मॉनिटरिंग के लिए मैकेनिज्म क्या होना चाहिए यह भी तय करेगा।
Our correspondent Siddhant Sibul is joining us for more. Siddhant, the 3-day Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction is to begin today. I would first want you to explain to us how important is this significant, what all could be taken up in the agenda, and also very quickly give a backgrounder to our viewers when we talk of the Sendai rulings.
Well, Preeti, AMCDRR, the Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, is going to start from today. Prime Minister is going to inaugurate this conference. It's been more than a decade. In 2005, this conference started, and it's completed 10 years. This is not the first time that India is hosting it. In 2007, also India hosted it. But what makes it different this time around is it's taking after the Sendai framework on the disaster reduction, which happened in 2015. Sendai is a Japanese city. What basically the Sendai framework is that a coordinated approach, global approach is to be put when it comes to disaster management, so that there is a reduction in the fallout, in the number of people who might have suffered, the casualties, the extent of destruction, and coordinated approach. Because usually whenever a disaster happens, a coordinated approach, because it's not that one country is affected. Remember the tsunami of 2004? It was a number of multiple Asian countries which are affected, and there it was thought that there should be a coordinated approach, an approach which helps in mitigating the disaster. And in this conference, it's the 3-day conference which is going to take place. A lot of people are going to participate. Now 4,000 delegates are going to participate, with 1,100 being the foreign delegates, with Deputy Prime Minister Mongolia and Nepal also participating in the 3-day conference. And the key outcome will be a Delhi statement, which you just mentioned. It's a political statement, basically, which is a follow-up of the Sendai statement. And an Asian regional plan will also the conference will come up with an Asian regional plan with Pacific countries also participating, and a shared responsibility of the Sendai framework.
All right, Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us with those details. We'll come back to you again during the day when the conference begins.